Ann?
Welcome back. We're outside now with our Chemist Corner, Jesse Miller. Now, a lot of people have seen this. You put Mentos and Coke. It's on YouTube. You're going to do your own YouTube version, but tell us the actual chemistry behind all of this.
Right. They've been doing this for a couple of years, putting Mentos in Diet Coke, and then it fountains up, and we're going to see that. And it just until recently, they didn't really have it locked down as to what exactly was going on in there. Why did Mentos work? Why didn't some other candies work? If you pour sugar into Diet Coke, it will fizz up, but not quite as spectacularly. And so it turns out that it's accumulation of a lot of things that we've been talking about in the past few weeks. Diet Coke, this doesn't work with regular Coke, by the way.
Oh, really?
Right, because regular Coke, because it has
too much sugar.
It's too much sugar, it's too dense. We talked about density. Well, Diet Coke is pretty much just water. It's got water, caffeine, aspartame, and phosphoric acid.
Okay.
And it's about the same density as water, so it's not syrupy like Coke is, so this doesn't work with Coke. Also, Mentos is different than a lot of the other candies because it's got a rough surface. I got one in my pocket. It's got a pretty rough surface, and this gives carbon dioxide bubbles something to what we call nucleate against. Okay, so the carbon dioxide bubbles are easier to form onto this candy. Well, then you'd think, well, you could just drop anything that's rough in there and it should work, but it doesn't. This also has, as it drops through, it nucleates on there, but it also, there's guar gum.
What's that?
Guar gum is a surfactant. Okay, it's also what makes these kind of chewy. Okay, and it works as a surfactant. We talked about surfactants before, that it allows the carbon, it kind of makes water less sticky. Okay, and so the carbon dioxide bubbles are able to form even easier. There was some speculation as to whether or not caffeine had any influence into whether this worked or not.
Right.
So I brought our own little experiment here. I got both a caffeine-free Diet Coke and a regular Diet Coke, and we'll see if there's any difference. And it turns out there shouldn't be, but we'll see if our experiment works the same way.
And does it need to be a mint-flavored Mentos?
Yeah, it turns out that there are specific Mentos that mint, and there's one other flavor that I can't remember that works. But mint, you can't go wrong with the mint ones. I particularly don't really like these, but that's here nor there. I don't know. I've never tried the fruit ones, but I'm not a big fan of mint. So we're going to try this, and we'll do the Diet Coke first, and then we'll do the caffeine-free Diet Coke.
Okay.
And it should be pretty spectacular.
All right, I'm going to step back out of the way because I'm wearing a very nice suit that I don't want to get dirty, and I feel bad for whoever's red car this is. I'm not quite sure who.
Well, the wind's blowing that way.
Okay, so I feel bad for the news cars then. We're trying the caffeine Diet Coke first. Yeah, and it goes. Put the cap on.
All right.
Pretty high. I don't know. What would you guess? 15 feet?
Yeah, about 15, 20 feet, something like that. We'll try to be caffeine-free and see if we get a difference. I don't know if the number of Mentos makes a difference.
He doesn't know if the numbers makes a difference, he's saying.
I use 3.
He's using 3 Mentos for the big 2-liter. Oh, Jesse!
Well, it's not perfect.
Oh, wow, you do what you can. It still shot pretty far, so I imagine if you got the...
Our producers.
Sorry about
anyway,
that.
I apologize.
Well, very good. So we would have seen what you said. It probably would have gone the same height anyway.
Well, as you can see, that was still pretty spectacular, so I don't think there was any difference. The caffeine doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever.
All right, so now you know the chemistry behind the Mentos in Diet Coke. Jesse Miller at Chemist Corner, thanks for being here. You can watch us again on our website, IllinoisHomepage.net. We'll be back with more.